Welcome to my basement, everybody. How you doing, Scott Jones?
Scott's not here today, Victor.
Oh, who's this?
This is Lonnie Anderson.
Oh, my co-host today is Lonnie Anderson.
Star of television and film.
Yes, from WKRP in Cincinnati. It's been a long time since we've seen you in the public, Lonnie. How have you been?
I'm looking for that old scamp, Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yes. He was here last week.
Weren't we a beautiful couple?
You were a beautiful couple. You were, yes. Can you bring Scott back? Because I'm thoroughly creeped out.
Victor, you know, I am like a man of 1,000 voices. I'm like the Rich Little of video games.
You're the Lon Chaney of audio.
I can do anything. You know we got to do on the show? We got to have a contest. We got to have people call in and or Skype and do their very best Vin Diesel impression. This is impossible.
He is impossible.
We have been trying to do this for about a week now, ever since we saw the film Riddick, which is in theaters today, and it is impossible. You can do anybody. I know you can do a really good Lonnie Anderson. Let me hear your Lonnie Anderson.
Hi. How are you, Scott?
I
can't do Lonnie Anderson.
Got like a half a piece of wood.
Yeah,
that was really sexy.
Hey,
usually you have to pay $1.99 a minute for that.
It's impossible. We're going to talk about Riddick in a second, but
what
first
are you in a
of
hurry
all,
for? Listen, we just got out of the studio. We just got back to the basement. Let's relax.
I know.
Let's settle
we've been working like dogs.
We've
been working like dogs. We've got a lot of trips coming up, so we're kind of shooting in anticipation of that. But there's something very exciting about today's show.
What is it?
It's our very first sponsored episode of Vic's Basement, and we have to thank PlayStation. I'm doing it right off the bat.
Does that mean that we're going to get a paycheck for today?
I'm just hoping they send us a free PlayStation 4, but it's Sony and the PlayStation 4 are sponsoring Vic's Basement and the website, and we are very happy and grateful. And of course, everybody knows this that listens to this podcast already, but here is our reminder. PlayStation 4 comes out on November 15th.
If you can pre-order the PlayStation 4, I suggest you do so. And if you have not been able to pre-order it, then you're screwed.
I think people are screwed.
You know what? I actually pre-ordered one. So if you're really nice to me, maybe we'll give one away. Or if you're Lonnie Anderson, then you might get one. Lonnie Anderson
will get a free PlayStation 4.
So can I just read this tweet you sent me last night?
Yeah. The text? Okay, go ahead.
I had to delete 20 gigs of games to be able to download Diablo 3. Fucking bullshit. These are the kind of sexts that I get from Victor Lucas in the middle of the night. I went through the same thing with the Wii U recently. I had to clean everything out. I got to get one of those external hard drives now because, and I know how you are. You know, I'm okay deleting the stuff.
I hate deleting.
I know you hate deleting the stuff. You can download it again, though. You still own it.
I know. I mean, that's the one good thing about the future of video game media is that it's always there in the cloud. You can grab it anytime you want. But I hate running out of room on the hard drive.
I just love the fucking bullshit. Because it takes so long to download this game to begin with.
The truth of it is that we're inundated with so many awesome things to play right now. Really, truly, there are a lot of really great games. If you count all of the handheld things and all of the iOS and all of the...
There's some things to play. I will give you that.
And the Steam stuff and the indie stuff.
It's not an overwhelming amount.
It's pretty overwhelming.
Do you remember 2010?
Yeah.
That was overwhelming.
Well, I certainly when you think about, the hot game months, yes. But now with the choice, man.
There are more games now than there have been in this year in which has been a desert.
And then that stupid Kingdom Rush, which is banned from the show. We can't talk about that anymore.
Well, you keep bringing it up. You brought it up when we were shooting today, and now you're bringing it up again. Why is it on your mind?
But the thing is, when you delete these games, you know that 75 million other good ones are coming, and you're not going to get back to playing some of these awesome games that you have to delete.
But you're only one person, and you have a family.
I want to go back into that game.
That's all right.
Deleted it. Deleted Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Rising.
You're okay.
Deleted it.
You're okay. And you're going to be fine. You don't need those games.
But you know what I did do is I started downloading a whole bunch of other ones. When I had to make the 20 gigs of room, I started saying, Cloudberry Kingdom, downloading it.
You know what?
DuckTales Remastered, downloading it.
Cloudberry Kingdom. I better get on that one.
And then of course Diablo 3. Which
you know what I did over the weekend?
What did you do?
Some things that were private that I can't talk about.
Okay.
But I did some things.
That's what this podcast was?
No, not all of those things.
Okay,
we still have some young listeners out there.
Okay.
We're going to answer some listener mail later in the show, but first I wanted to talk about what I played, and one of those games was on the system that has an unlimited hard drive, practically, that's the PC.
Right.
I played Gone Home.
Yeah.
Have you tried this game?
I downloaded it. I actually had PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, and PC games downloading all at the same time last night.
Yeah, your poor broadband. This is
cool.
This is the sound.
I am the
Your wife's like,
guy
"Can I marry you again? You're so beautiful to me."
Yeah, no, I was downloading everything. That was one of the games that I did download yesterday.
Okay, so a lot of these things, yeah, you're downloading these things,
Yeah.
but whether or not you actually get around to playing
Yes.
them, you like having the things.
I listen. Yes, I'm a collector now. I'm a digital collector, but no, I have not played. I heard it's amazing. I can't wait to try.
Yeah, but
And what's
you know
your
what?
thought?
Well, I loaded it up
Yeah.
and I started playing it, and I was ready for a moody experience. I didn't really expect to have to read so much.
Right.
So much fucking reading. I hate
Yeah.
when I go to a movie and all of a sudden they put text on the screen.
Right.
Like, come on.
You want a break from reading when you take you
read
get into
enough.
interactive entertainment
Yeah.
or sit down to watch a show or a movie, right?
You know what's remarkable about Gone Home is so much of the writing is excellent, and the
Right.
way that the world is laid out. I don't want to say too much more than that. Steve and Raju have reviewed it on the show. They
Yeah.
both gave it 8.5.
Yeah.
At this point,
and they're
it's so different. You know, it's
Right.
actually not that different. It's exactly like the games we were playing 25 years ago. Only those games were very spare computer games. In fact, they were so spare. Some of the games that I used to play, some of the text-based adventures were all text. Those games existed on the computer screen in my mind.
Right.
You know, like I remember playing this game on the VIC-20, which was my first. That was my first gaming system. Was the VIC-20
was
computer?
it Zork?
How fucking old am I?
You're old.
No, it was this thing. It was called like Vampire, Dark Knight of the Vampire or something. And you were in this village and you just had to like type, go to village or
Yeah,
something. And
yeah.
then like you arrive in a village, there is a barrel. Open the barrel. Inside the barrel, there is a pendant. And then you take the pendant up to Dracula's
I never had patience
castle.
for those kinds of games. It felt like you were also building the game as you were playing it.
You
because
were
had to
building
type-
it in your mind. I mean, your
know.
relationship with the game was
I
very
know.
intimate. And I
Yeah.
remember this very tense moment when I got to I finally encountered the vampire. You encountered Dracula.
Yeah.
And then what do? It's like, take out the pendant. He is blinded, and now like stab heart, you type in, you're like, I hope that works. And I remember my mother and my brother, it was one of the only sort of family computer gaming moments we ever had together. They kind of came in because I used to play on the little.
Really? They were around you playing.
They were
this?
around me in
That's
this one
awesome.
moment because they could see how excited I was, even though it was just a bunch of text on a stupid, the VIC-20 text where the letters were like 3 inches high.
Yeah.
I was playing on their tiny black and white TV screen.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I think like a carload of girls pulled up in a car outside, and my brother got in and drove away and like flipped me off. My younger brother, you'll never get laid.
I have an
I was like,
awesome,
but I killed Dracula in a text adventure.
Well, meanwhile, back in the Lucas household, we were playing Smurf on ColecoVision.
Oh,
and
Smurf.
I remember, or Smurfs.
Yeah.
Is it Smurf? What's the plural of Smurfs? Of
Smurfs.
Smurf.
Smurfs.
They're Smurfs, yes. Like pervs. But I remember we were playing, I think it was Smurfs. We were playing the
it's
Smurfs on ColecoVision.
Get on with it. It's Smurfs. You're playing Smurfs. It's not Smurf.
My grandmother, who's passed on, Meme, she was playing with us, and she was thoroughly entertained because Smurfs on ColecoVision looked like a little cartoon. So you were having this introspective, thoughtful, literate experience on your VIC-20, and we were playing Smurfs and cackling like goofballs over at my place.
There was a game called Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle.
Right.
That was a ColecoVision game.
Maybe that's what it was.
But I think there was also one
fun.
called Smurfs or
Yeah.
Smurfs.
It was pretty fun, man.
Smurfs.
And one of the games that I downloaded out of the 75,000 that I was downloading
Make
last
sure you
night
get them all.
was the Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion
Yes.
new revision that Sega has done.
Okay.
And that also looked like an animated thing. I remember playing that with my wife, and it's cool. She was my girlfriend at the time. It's cool thinking of these games where you're playing, even if it's a single player thing, but there's an audience with you engaged in the experience beside you,
Right.
turning it into a social deal. And that's one that it was. I remember playing the Sega Genesis Castle of Illusion with her, and both of us were just astounded.
Did she take the controller?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of us were astounded at the sort of animation quality and the level of detail and the love.
Well, she pretended to be astounded because she wanted to get what you have in your pants.
No, listen.
She wanted the front and the back, and she's like, "Yeah, Vic, it's awesome."
And boy, did she get it after
Let's
a few
make
levels
out
of
later.
Castle of Illusion.
All this Castle of Illusion's making me hot.
But you know what? There are moments that I remember vividly sharing with her playing games, and we beat Smash TV together, and we played Mario Kart together, and Sonic the Hedgehog we played together, and I remember her watching Tomb Raider and being super impressed with Lara Croft as a character and her acrobatics.
Yeah, it's a new world then.
And Eco,
1997.
and even Grand Theft Auto 3, and it's incredible when you can bring someone that doesn't really engage with this stuff like we do, and they are entertained or they get to experience it and appreciate it like that. That is it. It underlines something about why this matters so much to us. This medium, it's really cool.
One of my favorite ways to do multiplayer. I'm not a multiplayer gamer guy. That's a well-established fact at this point in history. But I like to go through the single-player experience in a game by trading controllers. My friend John in Boston, we used to do that. Yeah. And it's one of the things I miss about going to visit him in Boston, and we would buy all the beer in Boston, and we would put it in his refrigerator, and we would just stay in his house for 3 days, and we would get a big stack of games, and we would just go through them one at a time. Yeah. And usually there was a game that he and I would just go at it, and we would just go back and forth, and I'd play through a couple levels. And Need for Speed. Most Wanted. No, it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. That 2
on the
we
PS2.
went back and forth on. Classic. Man, I remember we did that, and I missed that. I missed that about being an old drunk. It was fun.
Well,
I can't do it anymore. I can't drink.
We are gluttons for this digital collection. All of us, I think, we have this stockpile of entertainment that we're downloading either for our phones or our computers or our game systems or whatever now, and we all have access to everything, our Netflix accounts and everything, and I think we're cocooning, and I hope that we sort of come through the other end of this and start to recognize the value in a social get-together around entertainment like this. And I think Rock Band cracked that. I think Rock Band was a great example of the best way to kind of entertain a group of people through interactive entertainment. We need more stuff like that. We is trying, and Towerfall is trying.
I like the idea of conquering something with somebody else.
Me too.
I don't like I shoot you in the ass and you shoot me in the ass.
That gets tiresome.
Let's level up.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do. There's a unique kind of bonding there.
And it can't just be fighting games.
And you can only do that in games. Like only in games is that. It's the only medium where you can have this kind of fun, where you work together on something like that.
Yeah,
I love that. There is. I did see one. I think it's a sign of the apocalypse this week.
What's that?
Well, the movie starring Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston, where she takes off her clothes, where the Millers
quote symbols over a movie. You did
over starring. I think I don't know what they're doing in this movie. Yeah. You and I didn't enjoy this movie at all.
Terrible.
In fact,
the Millers sucked.
If we're British, we would refer to this movie as rubbish.
Yeah.
And the movie has made over $100 million so far.
There's something about these.
I don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't understand the world we live in.
Yeah, it was kind of trying to mimic the National Lampoon kind of vibe, this sort of outdated comedy thing from the 80s and 90s. It was kind of lit like that. Right. It was shot like that. It was filled with characters
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Totally unbelievable. There was no heart. There was no nuance. And when you compare that, or
it's a shock. It's a series of things that are ridiculous and
they're not,
and they're not even shocking.
It's like through the prism of outdated, comedic storytelling. They're trying to get one over on us, like The Hangover did, which was this moment that this piece of time where all the rules were broken, and now everybody's out trying to capture a little bit of that hangover kind of hangover, and they're not able to. And obviously, Bridesmaids was an example of that working and being successful. But I think the analogy and the comparison that you always bring up is the Seth Rogen Bad Boy Club. That group of comedic actors is actually delivering pretty consistently, And Will Ferrell's troupe is kind of bringing, some pretty good quality stuff out there.
I guess they're trying to get a new troupe together. I mean, the most embarrassing thing is seeing somebody who's so accomplished, like Jennifer Aniston, still feel the need to lead with her body.
Yeah.
Why? After all these years, why do you still feel the need to fucking do this? Just fucking act, evolve as a performer, challenge yourself as an artist. Don't just do like a tit show in this tepid comedy. Like, come on, you're all better than this. You people are better than this. You people who have gone to see this movie are better than this. You deserve better.
Did you see The Heat?
I didn't see The Heat.
I want to see that. I mean, I don't know if it's a great.
We see everything together. You know what I see.
Well, sometimes you go off. We didn't review that one, but sometimes you go off to the theaters on the weekends, and you have.
Do when I have my man weekends, I go off.
You go and hang out.
I like see movies. I like Britishisms. I like rubbish.
Right.
I like when they say brilliant to one another. Can we start saying brilliant to each other on the show more?
I like the Coen brothers from We Are the Miller, the Miller's Crossing. Speaking of Millers, I like the Coen brothers 30s slang. Can we bring that back?
Can we do my slang first and then go to your slang?
Okay, all right. We'll start with your slang and then we will slowly evolve to Coen brothers.
The little bit of British slang I want everyone to start using out there.
Yeah.
They don't call it a paper route. Is that what you used to call it? Paper route? Yeah. What would you say?
Paper route.
Paper route.
Yeah.
It's called a paper round over there.
A paper round?
Yeah. That's
really?
what they call it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
You get a paper round. Yeah.
I like that.
So if you want to earn a little bit of extra money, kids get a paper round. Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, say it in a British accent.
I can't. I don't really. Oh, I need.
That's your British accent?
Yeah, let's hear your Vin Diesel.
I can't do Vin Diesel. He's impossible.
He is impossible. Go ahead and try it at home. Can't do it.
I mean, what does he say? Does he have a tagline? I think that's part of the problem is...
First I'm going to kill that one, then I'm going to have sex with that alien.
Yeah, then I'm going to kill you.
Then I'm going to go hide in a hole.
I'm going to find a furry puppy dog and make friends with him.
It's like a zebra crossed with a dingo.
He's impossible to do. He's got the most distinctive look and voice, I think, of any action hero.
We had fun at Riddick, though.
We
were
Riddick.
Both like a little giddy because we were enjoying it so much.
Yep, it was a nice surprise. It's out today. And then if you're hearing the podcast on the Friday.
And just go in, full disclosure, it kind of goes to shit at the end.
Yeah, it's
but
the action
you were okay
movie.
with the shit happening at the end.
Honestly, it's this third act problem, right? And Damon Lindelof was talking about it.
Movies have been around for over 100 years.
I know, but this genre is so limiting. And
figure it out.
It's like this
Looper had a great
thing
third
that
act.
We talk about. Which one?
Looper.
Yeah, I know.
Great third act.
They can't all be Looper.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier today. They can't all be Looper. We need the lows to offset the highs. We need to know what the lows are so the loopers can be the loopers.
Yeah, and we couldn't have gone in feeling like this was going to suck ass more. Like we both were.
I didn't like Pitch Black, and I didn't like the second one.
I liked Pitch Black.
That's shit.
But I didn't love it. I liked it. And I thought Chronicles of Riddick, I can't remember a damn second of that
He's somebody who, over the course of his career, I like more and more.
Me too.
I don't know why, because I really disliked him in the beginning, and he seems like a conceited jerk, and he's so full of himself. But
some of that comes off in the movie too. Like some of it sounds like the
I'm
lines
okay with it though.
Feel like they're so forced and phony
rehearsed and first
like he's trying to create the
kill you
Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of aura. And he's working his ass off to do that.
But it's almost like a Clint Eastwood thing.
He overcomes that cheeseballness by his uniqueness and his individuality. And you know that this was just sheer will that this sequel even got made. Because this franchise, doesn't really deserve to be a franchise if you think about it. It deserves to have sort of just kind of been forgotten, and he's moved on to become more successful in Fast and the Furious.
I think he's very aware of his cheesiness, though, and I think that's what I like about him. The Rock's the same way. He's aware of his own cheesiness.
Totally. And they're both kind of geeks. They're both muscle-bound geeks, and they're very aware that they appeal to geeks as well. They're both kind of living larger-than-life, super heroic geeks, and they're a fan for a lot of this stuff just like we are. And I think that sort of engagement with fans and that sort of desire to make something that fanboys fans of fantasy and science fiction and stuff that these guys dip into with the genres that they play with it's pretty cool.
Let me ask you a question. And I know NFL season is starting soon. We'll get to that soon.
I can't wait to talk about football.
That's another podcast. But have you ever met him?
I met The Rock. I haven't met Vin Diesel. He was at a party that I was at.
Whoa, so you guys were in the same room together.
We were very close to each other.
And were you at James Cameron's table?
Yeah, Jim and I were having some scotch, and Tom Cruise was drunk as usual.
Later on, submarine races?
No, I was just at a party that Vin Diesel was at, but I didn't talk to him, and he was over in the corner with a lot of honeys.
First I'm going to kill that one, then I'm going to kill that one. Then I'm gonna get into a hole. Remember how we used to? Let's get him on the podcast.
Okay, sure.
Vin, if you're out there,
Vin, I know you're listening. You tweet about us all
constantly.
The time.
You're like, oh, Vic and Scott.
So come on the podcast. Open invitation, buddy.
Yeah, and
anytime. You don't even need to bring The Rock. It could just be you.
We're okay without The Rock.
I have met The Rock. I interviewed him on the at the carpet of an award show.
Is he huge or what?
He's huge and charming and genuine. And funny.
Well, speaking of The Rock, Bautista, I think he's another one of these.
I love that guy.
Is he a WWE guy?
Pardon me?
He's a WWE guy.
Yeah, he's a wrestler guy. Okay. And he's in this Riddick movie, and he's really cool.
He's got some nice personality. I like the little arc of his career.
Totally. He was the best thing about that the Man with the Iron Fist movie.
I remember that. Yeah, he was scary in that movie.
He was terrific.
You couldn't stop him
because what did he have?
He was gold or something. Yeah, he was. That movie was shit.
The movie was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to watch Star Trek Into Darkness on Blu-ray. I just remembered that we have to do that.
Yes, we do.
Over the weekend, maybe we'll do it down in the basement.
And neither The Rock, Vin Diesel, or David Bautista are in that thing.
So we're going to answer some listener mail in a minute. I had a dream about Harrison Ford. Can I tell you about it?
Okay.
So the other night I went to bed. I got cats all over me.
Yeah. Yeah. You and your 80 cats.
I've been going to bed so early now that I'm at my advanced age.
And your pile of shopping bags.
I've got my, a pile of old New York Times next to the bed. It really is. It's a beautiful sight over where I live. And I actually said this before I got into bed. I said, "Hey, cats, it's the best time of the day when we all get into bed together."
Did you really?
I really said it out loud.
Is this podcast turning into a cry for help for you?
What's
happening? Okay.
My cry for help is next week.
Okay.
So I had this dream. I dreamed that I was in a restaurant and Harrison Ford walked in and he was huge.
Right.
Like he was like a full head taller than everybody, and I'm a tall man.
Right.
And I'm just like, Jesus, I did not know that Harrison Ford was that big.
I refer to you as the Sasquatch.
Yeah. That's an inside joke. Nobody's going to get that. So anyway, he's walking around this restaurant. I'm like, Harrison Ford is here. Should I say something to him? I mean, I know you've seen him before in real life, but I never had. So I'm in this dream version. Dream Scott is looking at Dream Harrison Ford, who's a giant apparently.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did he look just like me?
There was some resemblance.
Okay.
Yes, I know that Ruby sees Harrison Ford on TV and thinks that it's you on TV. I know. And you don't mind that.
She's my favorite.
She is your favorite. Yeah. I know. I used to be your favorite, but I have fallen. Anyway, I'm looking at him. I'm trying to decide. In the dream, Scott is trying to decide if you should go up to him and talk to him or not. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I woke up. Boom! Big erection.
What? Shut up. No, take that story back.
Sometimes it's not a sex thing.
Oh,
it's just like when you lay down, when you're prone.
Look, I even leaned in to hear the story a little bit better.
Blood goes to different parts of your body.
I don't even want to hear that. That's awful. That's terrible.
Anyway.
Let's get to the viewer mail.
Oh, no, it's not viewer mail. Yeah, right. One day.
No, listen, we're on YouTube. It's just a still image of us if you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, just imagine our mouths moving. Okay, here we go. Right. This is from Wendy Bradley. How come you chose not to mention Shin Megami Tensei 4 during August's Rocket and Ray Gun show? Is it because, as an RPG, Scott thought it deserved a 5 out of 10?
Ooh.
If so, shame. P.S. You lost a longtime viewer.
Wow.
Wendy Bradley, what do you say to her right now?
I think we have to apologize because that got some huge scores from Sean and Marissa.
Was it in the show?
Yeah, we reviewed it. They loved it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Know.
I mean, God.
When I see the word shin,
I know.
I just tune. I go right to sleep. It's like a blow dart right to the neck.
that honestly could be an oversight. We may have to do something on the show.
No, you know how the rocket and ray guns work? Rob and I sit down, and he gives me the list.
This is Rob Koval, our producer on the show.
And we try to decide what's going to make for the best, most watchable show. Now, if I look at this list, and in all likelihood, Rob would have put Shin Megami on it, I would have seen the word Shin.
Right.
And
so we can blame you.
Game.
So then you can apologize to
Wendy
Wendy's
Bradley,
right now.
Listen.
Yes.
I owe you an apology. And not only that, I'm sending you a breakfast pizza.
Okay.
Courtesy of Vic's Basement.
Part of what has happened with that monthly Rocket and Ray Gun Awards, obviously it's been squashed because we're doing our daily top 100. So there was less time in the show.
Oh yeah, there's less time to put everything. Right.
But yeah, that should have been in there. And had I known that was cut out,
I still am glad it's not in there.
Overruled.
Enjoy your breakfast pizza. Compliments of Vic's Basement. We're moving on to the next one. We don't have a lot of time here. We got to keep moving. This is from Jude Kirkham. I get it. I take it Getaway won't be making the top 100 movies list.
No.
That's the movie with, what's the little one from Disney?
Yeah.
Sophia.
Selma.
Raydong Chong.
No, what's her name? Selma
Hayek?
No, it's not Selma Hayek.
Samia Gomez. Selma Gomez?
Selena Gomez, yes.
Speaking as someone, and Ethan Hawke, speaking as someone who suffered through Cool World in high school. Remember that movie with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Here's a tip for watching bad movies. Use lime instead of butter on your popcorn. Just smuggle a lime or two into the theater and squeeze away during the bad scenes.
Wow.
Delicious and distracting! Exclamation point.
Wow, that is the best viewer mail we've ever had. That's
just smuggle a lime or two into the theater and squeeze away during the bad scenes.
That is the movie that I went crazy on the popcorn with, wasn't it? It was, I think the popcorn was...
Oh my God, I've never seen you eat popcorn like that. You were like a popcorn wood chipper. You just kept throwing it into your mouth. Your hand was in the bag.
They were our life preservers during that crap 2 hours.
That was a very profound thing that you said. Vic, after we got out of the movie, he said sometimes our popcorn is like our life preservers during these things.
Popcorn.
Okay, let's do a little quick reenactment of the Getaway. I need you to steer into that and drive over those people.
Crash!
I'm not doing that, but your wife will suffer. No, save me!
I hate you. I'm jumping out. Crash!
All right, that's the Getaway.
Okay.
Or just Getaway. I'm sorry. There's no the.
The Getaway.
This is from Albert Augustin. Hey, sir.
That was a Steve McQueen movie in the 60s.
The Getaway. That's right. Was Ali McGraw on that? Man, I loved Ali McGraw.
And then Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger made a remake, which wasn't very good.
Have you Googled Ali McGraw lately?
No. Yeah. It's brought to you by...
It's like a Harrison Ford dream right there.
Scott's love interest from the 60s and 70s.
Old ladies. I love old ladies. Albert Augustin. This is the next letter here.
Yep.
Hey, Sir Vic and Sir Scott. Well, we're off to a good start there.
Okay, that's nice. Does he mention anything about limes?
No limes.
Okay.
Just squeeze away during the bad scenes. I was listening to episode 42 of the podcast, and I just want to thank the both of you for the advice given about making it into the business. Do you remember that podcast? Did we say something?
I think that was a viewer mail podcast or a listener mail podcast.
He says, I'm already a video game journalist for 4 different websites. Well, wow. Maybe this guy could throw a little work our way. And I do it because I have a great passion and love for video games and for the gaming industry, but I am always willing to learn on how to become better at what I do. Thanks, guys, and more power to you. So that's just a nice...
That's sweet.
That's
You're just
Albert.
picking the suck-ass listener mail.
No,
the ones
I
that
did
are
the Shin Megami one, the woman... We lost a viewer.
We started with a hard blow.
So... we have lived a lot of life at this point. We've both been in this business for about 42 years.
Yeah.
And we do know what we're talking about. And I guess we said something that inspired this guy and made him feel good about his career choice. It's hard to become a video game journalist in the year 2013.
I think you just got to dig it. You got to love it. And
you
got to be yourself, and you got to let your own voice kind of blossom, right?
You forgot the most important thing.
What's that?
You got to have a day job.
And you got to have a day job right now, I think.
And a sex tape.
Yeah, the sex tape will never hurt.
No.
I mean, look at
whatever stage of your career.
Right?
Yeah.
That one sex tape is like feeding 100 people right now.
Which one? Who did a sex tape?
The Kim Kardashian. Didn't she have a sex tape? And
she did.
Now they have an empire.
With Ray J. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I never saw it. No, who had the last big sex tape? Do people still do that? Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you don't want to talk about that.
This is the wrong podcast for that.
It's not really. It's actually the perfect podcast for that question.
I think you just had a sex tape with Harrison Ford, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry. That story it took a turn.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is from Chase.
Yeah.
Please, this is a little bit weird. I feel bad for this guy.
Are we going to be
It's hard
insulted?
to read. It's hard to read.
Okay, what is it?
Please, your help is needed to save millions of dollars. A gaming thief is at large.
What?
And I'm trying to start a boycott movement. Mobage is the social gaming website. Do you know this site?
No.
Mobage.com.
No.
Needs to be stopped. The game is Marvel War of Heroes. They have been doing something to every player. I don't want to say what he put in here. Every player, I have nowhere left to turn. I've watched your show since it started. I love the show. I wish I'd seen a bad review of this game to prevent me from spending over $6,000 on this free game.
Oh, no.
Thank you for your time, Chase.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Guys. Don't spend...
Guys, for the last time, listen to Vic.
Please, do what you can not to spend more than $100 on any game. Like, make that your limit. Like, honestly.
Even 100 is a lot.
That's a lot of money.
You could take a lady out for a nice meal, like, or honestly, a giant Harrison Ford.
Even the MMOs, like at a certain point, there is no shortage. There's no shortage of fun things and lots of cool communities and lots of great experiences that you can have with video games. And
I know guys that make games, and you know what they call people who spend money like that?
Well, that isn't even that. I know what they call them the whales, and I think
whales.
This is
right.
the term right now that's out there. There are companies right now in the free-to-play kind of in-app purchasing kind of model right now that are chasing players that spend six figures into the hundreds of thousands of dollars on games.
It's not healthy.
And a lot of companies are kind of pivoting and chasing just those players. They don't care about the guys that spend hundreds or thousands. Women or whoever's doing it.
Sorry, I just burped.
They just want the whales. They want the 100,000 plus consumer out there that's just dropping buckets of cash on all kinds of things. And I mean, honestly, I know this stuff is addictive. It's addictive. It's engineered to be addictive. Just be careful. There's so many great things that you can spend your dough on and have an awesome time with. You don't have to go crazy on one experience.
But it's like it reminds me of a story I read in the New York Times Magazine. Oh, Mr. High and Mighty. Oh, I read the New York Times.
Thank you for making fun of yourself. You're doing my work for me, man.
You were right there. I knew it was coming.
You are the best Sasquatch.
So it was about the snack food industry and how all of those foods, like as soon as you open one of those bags and you smell the aroma coming from your bag of ketchup chips, or I don't even want to say what some of the brands are.
I mean, these are scientists building.
They're built by scientists to appeal to your most base instincts, and the reason you can't stop eating them is because they are engineered that way.
Yeah.
And so that's why I can't eat some of those things.
You know what happens? And listen, some snack foods and everything in moderation. If you get so addicted to anything, whether it's a game or junk food or whatever, that it really impacts your health and your well-being, you're going to hate that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't deserve your hate.
Well, you don't feel good about yourself.
You're going to hate that. You're going to hate yourself. And it doesn't deserve the hate. It just deserves... It should be a source of joy.
Listen,
so if you go over the deep end with this stuff, whatever it is, so that it becomes this albatross in your life, just be careful. Enjoy this stuff. This stuff is made by human beings to make life better and make life fun. Keep it that way.
Listen, we're talking about health here, and everybody who listens to the podcast, I presume they watch the show or both shows that we're on.
Yeah.
And people can see very clearly that we have big, open faces. We're very healthy. We don't have a lot of acne. we're
What's going on?
But listen, you are one of the healthiest motherfuckers I know. And let's give everybody a health tip, and I'm going to start with one from me right now. Okay,
You're super healthy.
You're built
like you're auditioning for
Magic Mike too. That's right.
Yeah.
But listen,
Yeah.
I can't really dance. But
right.
I always buy a large bag of almonds.
Right.
And everywhere I go, I bring almonds with me. And in case I get a little hungry, I have some almonds. Now, they're
You
raw.
only need a handful.
The raw
Yeah.
almonds, right?
Yeah.
And they're not the most fun to eat because you want to get the ones that are roasted, or maybe they have like a little salt on them, or maybe some sea salt, or maybe a little hint of lime. Those are not good for you. Get the raw ones. They suck, but you eat them and you get a nice steady jolt of energy over the course of your day. Now you do your health tip. Go ahead.
They fill you up, and you don't have to eat.
It's like
tons
eating
of them.
wood chips sometimes. It's not
but
fun.
they're so good.
You're like, what am I eating?
appreciate them. You know what I like to eat?
What do you like?
A few dates with raw almonds.
Dates. I can't
Boom.
eat dates.
Dates are sugar.
Dates and prunes I don't really get
I like
into.
them. They're tasty. I would say.
You take any supplements?
No, I don't.
We should probably be taking stuff for our prostates.
I don't take anything, but the leafy green that I eat is spinach. I put spinach into every.
Spinach is great. What about
every
kale?
sandwich.
You get some kale going?
I just have kale chips every once
You got
in
a
a while.
smoothie operation over there?
No, which we.
Oh, you tried to make some carrot juice
yeah,
a
and
few
it
weeks
sucked.
ago. What
Yeah,
happened to that?
It was terrible. I love carrot juice, and if you're gonna buy juice, only buy carrot juice.
Yeah, juice is a killer.
Juice is a
We have a
killer.
doctor friend, Dr.
Yeah.
Allie Zentner,
Yeah.
and she hates juice.
Carrot juice is great.
Yeah, I went over to her house for brunch a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they were doing mimosas, and I don't drink anymore. And so at the end of the brunch, she had a big jug of orange juice, and I took it home. And then she called me when I got home. She said, "Dump that down the drain. I don't want you drinking that. It's so bad for you. It has so much sugar in it."
Yeah.
And people don't realize, they're like, "I'll just have
I
a
know.
juice."
I know.
You
The
know?
concentrated sugars and it's just too much with the fruit juices and stuff. But
Anyway,
I do.
you're very
subscribe to
healthy.
The philosophy that carrot juice is good for you.
I watch you when you eat, and I think, is that something that I would eat? And it looks like it's having a nice effect. You don't eat sugar.
No.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I don't eat sugar. I don't eat meat.
That's great.
I eat seafood. But I also feel like everybody has a different,
How are your
sort of-
shits?
They're fine. I think everybody's got a different sort of health barometer and a physicality. No,
Physiology.
Physiology. That's
Yes.
the word I'm looking for. Everybody's got a different physiology.
You do. You got to play with it.
People, you've got to find what's good for
Got to
you.
find what
makes
works
you
for
feel
your
good
system.
and makes you feel
It gets you
healthy
the
and,
biggest shit in the morning.
and being
Should look
regular
like
is super important.
Should look like a
Absolutely.
meatloaf in there.
Absolutely.
Or
That's
maybe-
disgusting. Let's not get into that. Let's not describe poo. Okay.
Come on,
I'm
it's
a
so
dad.
fun.
I see enough of it.
All right, that is
Okay.
true. You do see a lot over at the
right,
house. Okay,
okay.
we got a couple more observations
All right,
and
okay.
questions here, and then
Okay,
we'll be
what's up?
done for the day. Okay.
All right.
This is from Martin Ascott. Question: As a kid, I played Donkey Kong,
Mm-hmm.
which at the time was revolutionary. These days, I play games like Mass Effect 3, which make games like Donkey Kong seem rudimentary by comparison. My question is, do you think the kids growing up today who play Mass Effect will look back in 10 to 15 years and find it rudimentary, or have we reached the pinnacle of gaming with the next-gen tech that is coming out later this year? And I have an answer for this. I'm sure you do too. It's probably
Yeah.
the same answer. Go ahead.
I think that all of the stuff that we play right now that is blowing our minds will look really primitive. I just think about Grand Theft Auto 3, which wasn't that long ago, and how amazing that was, and how revolutionary it was. And now it just looks like a bunch of blocks walking around.
You know, it's going to sound funny because I'm going to plug another website, but it's a website I used to write for. It was one of the websites that I got to start on before
Yeah.
I really got established as a game writer.
Yeah.
And that was gamecritics.com.
Oh, I
These
thought
are
you were
just a
gonna
bunch
say
of guys.
hustler.com.
What is it?
thought you were gonna
Hustler.com? No, it's not Hustler. But this site, one of the guys who runs the site, his name's Chi Kong Lu.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy, a super smart guy. We used to have lots of long talks about video games, and he always would say that the games we're playing now are the cave paintings for where we're going to be.
Totally.
Like they're as crude as looking back
Yeah.
at the Lascaux or what are the
Yeah.
cave paintings in France. They're as crude as looking at those cave paintings of people like chasing buffalo or whatever, getting hunted down by
Right.
other buffalo. I don't know what happened to people back
Well, you
then.
know what? I think all you have to do is look at the way that 3D...
Jesus, what is this? Your mom got the wash machine
Yeah.
on spin cycle up there? What is that?
The washing machine's from 1973. It still works fine.
Man alive.
It's great. No, but I think all you got to do is look at games like Papo and Yo, and these indie games that are using 3D technology, which used to cost a fortune to kind of implement. And you look at services like Unity, and there's off-the-shelf technology and stuff like that. So developers that don't have a lot of dough or a big team or whatever are able to make 3D games and deliver them in a bunch of different ways. And they're telling innovative stories with them. They're taking us in different directions with them. And this is all just starting to happen right now. So to think that, people with maybe 2 or 3 other folks are able to build really rich, deep, compelling, thoughtful, story-driven 3D games today, like that's just going to bode so well for where the medium is going to take us in the future. And of course, people that are already toying with the Oculus Rift or whatever Sony might have in store with their VR headset, which apparently we're going to be seeing at TGS. There's going to be some kind of PS4.
Yeah, we're going to TGS.
Yeah, there might be some kind of 3D Oculus Rift type device for the PS4.
Shit.
That is, I think, another huge leap forward where we're going to see VR technology actually work and be efficient and blow our minds when we're jumping into some of these game worlds and stuff like that. I think that is also a huge leap forward technologically. But I think it's got more to do with the maturity of the way that the stories are conveyed and the communication is conveyed through video games. That is the next evolution of the medium. I don't think that this transition so much is about more polygons on screen or more sort of graphical flourish. I think it's about maturity. I think it's about characters that we really care about. I think it's about really thoughtful, beautiful storytelling, like in Gone Home or The Last of Us. I think I think that's where our next evolutions are going to be in this next 5 or 10 years. But yeah, absolutely, all of the stuff that we're seeing in Mass Effect, which was an absolute revolutionary story-driven experience, that's just dipping our toe in. We're really just getting started.
Before I go to bed at night and have my Harrison Ford dreams,
yes,
I can feel it out there.
Yeah.
I can feel the dreamers in the game business dreaming their dreams.
Well, this is the thing.
And they are making up some new shit right now that is going to blow our minds. And I know this is awfully optimistic coming from me.
I mean, honestly.
But it's happening right now. And you know what? We're not going to see it in 6 months. Probably in a year or two, We're going to see some stuff that is going to blow our heads clean off.
And I think it's really smart what PlayStation and Xbox are doing with the new machines. They're not so obtuse, they're not so difficult. And even the Wii U, they're opening them up so indie developers can get their stuff out there. They're not these crazy difficult devices to build that are going to crush teams and put companies out of business. They're systems that people are familiar with, that have a lot of horsepower, that have a lot of RAM, and they're going to be able to build sensational looking stuff for these new software platforms and deliver them in a lot of interesting new ways. And I think that is really going to push the content in this industry forward in some really significant ways over the next few years.
Before everybody goes to sleep tonight, I want everyone to just take a moment and feel those dreamers out there dreaming their dreams.
Feel that.
Feel it, because you can feel it. It's like it just feels like a little buzz, feels like a little tickle.
Dude, we've devoted a lot of our passion and our heart and our soul and our time and our love to this medium over the last 20 years.
This is our career. This is all we do.
It is our
This is
career,
all we know how to do.
But it also is the most exciting, in my opinion, the most exciting medium that human beings have created so far. And it is limitless in its potential. It actually takes everything that we've learned from those cave paintings on forward, everything that we've learned in the way that we convey a story or express something to somebody else, whether it's through music or paintings or animation, everything that we've learned, takes all of it, combines it into one beautiful piece of art that is then brought to life with your imagination and your gameplay skills, which is unbelievable. You become a part of this art, which is so profound.
So a couple of weeks ago, I got into a bike accident.
Yes, you did.
And I tried to pull off a crazy move, and I didn't quite make it. And so I got a big scab on my arm.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've had a scab in 20 years.
Yeah.
It is so fun to just always just touch that scab.
To pick the scab.
Touch the scab.
And you were so worried that you were going to hurt your face and then your hands. Because imagine if you had hurt your face for TV and then your hands for playing games.
You wouldn't discriminate against my busted up face, would you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be on the show?
Yeah, we put a bag over your head.
I would have like an Elephant Man burlap sack over my head.
The unknown comic.
So we are going to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Are you ready to travel?
I'm not ready for Tokyo because next week we're in Montreal. So
yeah, we're away for most of this month. We're going to have to do a lot of these basements on the road.
We are going to have some pretty cool special guests in the next few weeks. Absolutely.
That sounds good. I have one more. It's kind of a longer one. I'm going to read it quickly, but it's so nice. I can't not read it.
Okay. Right. I like these nice. I like that you're hand picking all of these very complimentary.
I know you think I don't do anything around here, but I'm busy.
I love it. Okay.
Hi, I've been meaning to write this fan letter to you for some time. This is from a lady named Catherine Richardson. I hope it's useful, particularly since I doubt I'm your target demographic, 50 plus and female.
Wow.
I wonder if she's available.
Okay.
I want to let you know what I think Rotor does so well that makes it so appealing to me. What I like, the video editing of games and movies is terrific. It provides a sly counterpoint to the item being discussed, and I will often stick with a segment
Bravo to all of our editors
just to see what snark the video provides. Unlike some other shows, the hosts are talking to us face-to-face throughout. That was all part of your vision.
Right.
We never see the backside of a device as someone is navigating on a tablet.
No.
The two hosts per segment format makes for great debate, and the quality of those discussions are usually very high.
Wow.
No, she doesn't say usually. She just says are very high. The hosts never say they love or hate one something. They say why and put it in the context of other games / movies / gadgets. The segment links are well timed. There is a nice variety of coverage in each episode. There's at least one segment of direct interest to me, a 50-plus-year-old woman. I get the most value from the iOS reviews. That's Sean and Marissa.
Yeah.
But for the reasons I've mentioned, I usually watch the whole show. I'd like more gadget reviews, but I expect that depends on what the manufacturers provide. Reviews on the Run has introduced me to a new way of thinking about games and gaming. At one time, I'd have said that I'm not a gamer because I don't play FPS games, but the show has introduced me to different categories of games and helped me to define where my interests are.
That's awesome.
And since I'm the one who tends to make the technology purchases in our family, I use it as part of my research when I'm considering buying a game or gadget. I hope these comments are useful, and thank goodness for the PBR, since our local station, then she has a parenthetical medicine hat, keeps bouncing you all over the schedule. Regards, Catherine Richardson. Thank you, Catherine Richardson. You are our listener letter of the day.
That is awesome.
Isn't that sweet?
That's so kind.
You're speechless right now.
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful to hear feedback like that. And, that's what I hoped for these shows. I wanted to make programming around this content that was human, that was filled with people that other people would connect with. And I recognized, because I loved, Siskel and Ebert when I was growing up, that they helped me appreciate the films because I loved those two so much and I liked getting to know who they were. And that was absolutely the inspiration for Reviews on the Run. I wanted people to know who we were so that they could help, so we could help kind of bring people into the love that we have for this stuff, And it's reaffirming to hear that is seen and appreciated. And, and frankly, it's always been a surprise to me that there haven't been more...
I burped again a little. Sorry.
There haven't been more TV shows around this kind of content because... it's so fascinating to me and obviously to the viewers and to our listeners out there. And it really is about the people, whether it's the people we interview on EP or it's the people that we have reviewing the stuff on Reviews on the Run. You need the people. You can't just have product after product after product.
No.
People see through that.
One thing I know about people, they like looking at other people.
Yeah.
Even somebody like me who doesn't even like other people, I like looking at other people.
Well, people make this stuff, We're not just a bunch of robots, and we just aren't. We aren't robot consumers need to be programmed to just consume stuff. We need to feel something for the stuff we buy. And if you talk to people about why they work so hard to build stuff, and then if you have reviewers that are actual human beings that we get to see in their eyes, their truthful reactions to this content, you're going to make compelling stuff. And that's what we've been doing since 1997 on TV, And Catherine, you fill my heart. That was a really, really nice thing.
She also gets a breakfast pizza. Compliments of
she gets a breakfast pizza.
Vic's
absolutely.
Basement. Listen, one more little listener email. This just came through the regular website. We are the publicists for LeVar Burton. Who do we talk about booking him as a guest? Listen to this. Now that's Geordie LaForge.
LeVar Burton wants to be on the show?
Wants to be on the show.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
What do you think?
I think that'd be incredible.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, LeVar Burton is going to come on Vic's Basement Podcast.
Oh, my God, all the Star Trek fans in the company are going to go crazy.
We're going to be in Montreal.
Yes.
I need it. Oh, my God, I got to find a cat sitter. I'm going to be in Montreal. Then we come home for like a minute, and then we go to Tokyo.
Yes.
And
September is crazy.
This is the life we have chosen for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, the downside of that is Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out while we're traveling.
So
how are we supposed to play it?
We are going to have to play it.
How are we supposed to play it? This is the biggest game of the year.
I think I want to bring my PS3 on the road. I actually really do. And
yeah, I'm not doing that.
But we're not going to be the ones that are reviewing it first. It's going to be.
What are you talking about?
It's going to be Sean and Marissa that are going to be reviewing it first, and then we're going to be doing the second opinion. So we are going to have to see what those two have to say about this thing, and then we are going to review it later on. It's a pretty big game for those guys to review.
That's a huge task, man.
I know.
That's a big chunk of video game right there.
I can't wait, though. I cannot wait.
Well, it's more than a game.
I know. But you know what we come back to in October? Batman.
Batman?
Batman. Arkham Origins and Blackgate on the Vita. Oh my God!
What is Blackgate?
That's the 2D scrolling. That's who I want to have on the podcast.
Shit.
I want to have the.
I really have to read your newsletter.
I want to have the guys that worked on the Blackgate game on the podcast.
All right, maybe that's a private one.
Because they worked on Metroid as well.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
It's retro.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I like retro.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not retro. They split off and they started their own studio. I forget the name of it. Architecture or something like that. Or
we really need to do some pre-production next time. So we made it through the whole podcast without anyone mentioning your mom.
Yes.
Well, we did mention her. She had the washing machine going.
She's got the washing machine going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to my mom. We love
Vic's
you, Mom.
Hey.
We're going to miss her when we're on the road.
I know.
Vic's Basement's going to have to travel with us.
Maybe she can
bring
just
the stench everywhere.
That's right. We're going to be taking our hustlers and our bad smell to the airport, and we're going to fly away. So
and we are inching ever closer to these new machines. They're coming, but we have to give another big shout out and a big thank you to Sony and PlayStation. The PlayStation 4 launches on November 15th. So pre-order or order that thing if you haven't.
Or dream about pre-ordering it, and maybe a giant Harrison Ford will walk into your dream.
We'll be able to play the PlayStation 4 in your dreams. And we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Okay, bye, everybody.
Thank you. Hey,
bye, and bye from Lonnie Anderson.
You forgot your Stitcher.
Stitcher. Are we still Stitchering?
Yeah, Stitcher.
Okay, Stitcher.
Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube now.
Stitcher.
And, of course, Vic'sBasement.com. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. So long, folks.
They already know all this, so why do we plug it at the end?
They like it. They like it.
They know where they're listening to it.
They're into it.
They're so weird.
Just be quiet now.
Okay.